Hello, everyone. Melsa here, the IVF acupuncturist in San Antonio, Texas. It's Saturday. I just got done with seeing patients and just wanted to recap a little of what I heard this week. It was a great week. It was beautiful. Had some. I still only had one transfer. Everybody's still doing injections and stimming. I've got hopefully a couple of fresh transfers next week, retrievals and fresh transfers next week. I did have one patient who did a retrieval, I think yesterday, and she was hoping to do a fresh transfer at day 5, but her little polycystic ovaries were like, no. So I'm assuming either because she texted me, so she said it's going to have to be a frozen transfer. So I'm assuming either her estrogen was too high or her progesterone was too high. So she'll just have to wait the 6 weeks. And as any of you know that have been on the IVF roller coaster, bumps in the road happen, and she will do a transfer in about 6 weeks or so. So we're very excited for everybody. I had 2 patients that saw heartbeats this week, which was really awesome. One has been going through infertility for like 6 years. And so she is just overjoyed. The other one has had 3 miscarriages. And so this is the first time that she, was able to see a heartbeat on one of her pregnancies. And so we're just really excited for them. So yeah, that's just kind of an overall wrap up of what happens. I've got, we have in San Antonio, we have Brook Army Medical Center, BAMC. So we have the one of the only, I think it's one of the 3 fertility military fertility centers that do IVF. I think it's San Antonio. It might be somewhere in DC on the East Coast, Virginia maybe. I feel like there's one in Washington as well. But really, there's only 3 or 4 like military facilities that do IVF, and we're one of them. They batch patients. It's super interesting. Like everybody goes on birth control at the same time, and like everybody starts stimming at the same time. So they kind of like, it's like a whole bunch of gals doing IVF like all at the same time. So they're doing a cycle right now. So I got a couple of BAMC patients, which is always good. And yeah, so today I wanted to talk about 2 of my favorite fertility hacks that I talk about all the time in clinic. One is castor oil packs. I love castor oil. I love castor oil packs. And then the second is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider is a little bit more of like an overall health, a general kind of health, digestive, detoxy kind of like body zhuzh. But we'll go into that in a second because I'll start with castor oil packs. If you're trying to conceive naturally, I usually recommend gals use castor oil packs in the follicular phase. If you doctor Google, you may see like start after your period. I say maybe you start after the heaviest day of your period, but then like once you're kind of tapering off, you can totally start castor oil packs. And let's explain what a castor oil pack is. So basically, you take castor oil. I sell a roll-on in my clinic, but you can get castor oil from Amazon, your CVS, whatever. Just hopefully it's organic. But you just take castor oil and you rub it on your low abdomen, like over your uterus, so like north of your pubic bone, south of your belly button, and then kind of encompass the ovaries and everything like that. So just that kind of wide square, and then so rub that on, and then put a towel on because it's super viscous. Castor oil is like a super like viscous oil. So put a towel over it and then a heating pad. And so the heat kind of like gets the castor oil into the skin. And so you can do those packs. You can also order a castor oil pack. That's like a little like strap-on thing. So you can kind of like walk around your house or whatever while you're doing your castor oil pack from Amazon. I don't like, they're like $35 or something like that. So, you can Velcro the castor oil on. But if you want just regular castor oil pack, you just castor oil, towel, heating pad. Really good for anything that sticks around. So anything that's like fibroids, blocked tubes, PCOS, women that are prone to cysts, women with clotty periods, women with painful periods, any periods that are kind of offensive, do castor oil packs in the follicular phase. They're really, really great. And so you can do them, 2 or 3 times a week, preferably 3. free for half hour, 45 minutes, just while you're chilling on the couch at night. Throw some castor oil on, do a towel, do a heating pad while you're watching your shows. And you will see a difference in your period. Once I started doing castor oil, and y'all, I do the lazy person's castor oil pack. I actually don't do the pack. I just put castor oil when I get out of the shower on my, like, over my uterus and also over my liver and kind of pancreas area too, because it's really good detoxer. And so you can do castor oil over your liver to kind of zhuzh the liver, zhuzh the gallbladder, which is also really nice. But yeah, it really kind of like changes the quality of your period. Again, if you have cloudy periods at all, I highly recommend castor oil packs. So again, do them from like right after your heavy day all the way up until ovulation. You can avoid the heat on the nights that you guys are trying. So the nights that you guys have intercourse, no heat, because sperm doesn't really like heat. And so you can just do like my lazy person's castor oil pack and just put castor oil on your lower abdomen. So I recommend for gals who are trying to conceive naturally during that period of time up until ovulation. The other time that I recommend them is for frozen embryo transfers. You can start them, when you're doing birth control, waiting to start your estrogen, or if you're doing like a modified natural cycle, you can do them, just kind of all cycle long, just, after the heavy days of your period, up until transfer. And so really good to zhuzh the lining, just good quality bleeding. I've had lots of patients who are, who run, thin lining, that it can help thicken their lining. And so, yeah, they're really good. The only time that I don't recommend castor oil packs is during injections for IVF. If you're doing a retrieval cycle, you can do castor oil like up until you stop birth control. If they're doing birth control on you, you can do them all the way up until you start your follistim and your menopause, or like at baseline or whatever. So no castor oil over when you're doing injections. But they're really, really great. I would say probably half of my patients have like heard of castor oil. Maybe a third of my patients have heard of castor oil packs. But I super, super support them. I've just seen really good things with castor oil packs. So there's that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or respond to the email that you get this video from. So the other thing, oh yeah, and if you've done castor oil packs and if you've had success stories, just leave a comment. The other thing that I want to talk about today is apple cider vinegar. So ACV is it's just one of those ancient, kind of remedies that have been around for forever. It's fermented, it's fermented apples basically, that turns into vinegar, but it's got the mother, so it's got the it's got the probiotic benefits of vinegar. So I think it was Dr. Mark Hyman. He's kind of an integrative physician that's big on the social medias. He says that, we should all eat like we're diabetic, because, in this country, we get way too much sugar. We eat way too many carbs, guilty. But, we really do have a sugar problem in the States. And the fact is that we have crappy sugar. We're consuming just really, really bad, processed sugar. So we should probably, so we kind of have an insulin resistance issue in the States. And so apple cider vinegar really helps mitigate the blood sugar response before eating. So if you take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in about 8 ounces of water before meals, especially, I highly recommend if you're polycystic, highly recommend if you have insulin resistance, highly recommend if you have a family history of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, just really any of those blood sugar issues, you really should be doing a little apple cider vinegar, especially before carb heavy meals. If you want more of the detoxing effect of apple cider vinegar, because it really stimulates the liver gallbladder, which is lovely, you can do that apple cider vinegar and water before bedtime, because we like our livers and everything, our detoxing systems are heightened overnight, and so it's really good to do that overnight. Also, what I want to say, if you run constipated, ACV increases peristalsis, so it increases the smooth muscle motion of the small intestine and the colon and the large intestine. And so it can really help if you suffer from constipation. Also, magnesium citrate. So, those are kind of three good uses for ACV. I've started doing apple cider vinegar like basically first thing when I wake up. Just like right when I wake up, I take a little digestive. I'm sorry, an enzyme defense just because I see patients. And so I like my little enzyme defense and I have to do it on an empty stomach. And so, I'll do that with apple cider vinegar. It stimulates your, digestive tract, and it's just really, really good. But if you guys do run, kind of insulin resistance, then do it before every meal. Also another insulin resistant hack is to eat roughage. So eat veg, eat a salad, preferably with like a vinegar dressing. Eat like just cucumbers or a carrot or something like that before you eat carb meals, and that will also help mitigate the blood sugar response. So I think that's it. Oh, the another thing that I want to say. I just was just talking to a patient she's about to she's doing. Oh no, she just finished estrogen priming. She's starting a little birth control. She's going to stim in about 10 days. Do injections in about 10 days. And she's just she's doing all the things she read. It starts with the eggs. She's taking all the supplements. She's gone keto, really kind of like super focused on diet. She's doing all of the things. She's doing acupuncture. She just went gluten free because she's Hashimoto's. And so she was like, Dr. Google is the devil and the curse. It's just like, you want to know all the information, but sometimes it's so overwhelming, and so, so crazy. Like you have to stop that. You have to cut the Dr. Google off at a certain point. But she was saying about the Facebook groups too, because, all those IVF Facebook groups is a rabbit hole. So what I recommended to her was to just mute those Facebook groups. If you like start needing to go down the rabbit hole of Dr. Google and Dr. Facebook group, like absolutely fine. You can click on it, but just have it don't show up in your feed. All those things are so everybody's everybody's different, and those groups are a little bit stressful. So don't stress yourself out with doing all of that information. But I hope everybody's had a good week. I hope everybody's warm. We haven't gotten our freezing or polar vortex here yet, but it's coming. So hopefully everybody's warm and safe, and sending you baby dust. And I will see you next Saturday. Bye.